almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG. It's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith, and welcome to tonight's show. Hey, before we dive into all the excitement tonight, let's take a moment to spotlight our presenting sponsor, Sparkling Creations. Known for their top-tier rental and event planning services, Sparkling Creations elevates every celebration to a whole new level. Kind of like a good glass of bourbon does. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a grand affair, their dedicated team, from start to finish, sparkles. So check them out at asparklingcreation.com. So now, it's time to turn our attention to tonight's guest. I couldn't be more thrilled to welcome the phenomenal Dr. Lew Hunnicutt to tonight's show. Aside from being one of the nicest guys I know, he's probably one of the smartest guys I know too. So he's currently serving as president of Nash Community College and deeply involved in the whole community as well. So I've actually been entertaining an idea of going back to school myself, believe it or not. So I asked Lew, the curriculum you guys have out there at summertime, what's some stuff I could take out there? So I narrowed it down to 5 courses that I might potentially take. It's always 5 for some reason. Anyway, so here is the top 5 community college courses that I am considering for the summer. The cards, please. Number 5, Advanced Dad Joke Theory. You didn't know that was a course, did you? The description for this course reads, dive deep into the art of pun mastery, where you will learn how to create groan-inducing wordplay designed to ensure maximum discomfort for your audience. And the professor for this course is none other than, wait for it, Greg Fischel. Number 4, Bourbonomics 101. This course delves into the delicate balance of supply, demand, and the etiquette of happy hour. As far as I'm concerned, every hour I have a glass of bourbon in my hand is a happy hour. So the labs for this course would include tours of distilleries, purely for research, of course. Research. Number 3. Pickleball, the essential life skill you never knew you needed. Because clearly, this is what has been missing from my life all along. Who wrote this? Students will be evaluated on their ability to keep a straight face while taking this class seriously. No thanks. I think this may be a belated April Fool's joke from John Chet. Will somebody let him in here again? Keep him out of here, please. That one went off kind of like a limp noodle there. Number 2, beginner bull riding. Who knew that was a course at Nash Community College? A rodeo-inspired course on staying in the saddle while delivering the aforementioned dad jokes, all while hanging on for dear life. Students will receive extra credit if they can do it with a cigar in one hand and a glass of bourbon in the other. Number 1, this is by far my favorite. Dean Martin 101, the art of hosting with whiskey and winks. This course will teach you how to host a show like you were a member of the Rat Pack. You'll learn advanced techniques in cocktail holding, cheeky comments, and winking at the camera like you know a secret that the audience doesn't know. When you enroll, you receive a complimentary set of whiskey tumblers, fake cigar for practicing your air puffing techniques. So, you know, seriously, most of those courses, I think I could skip directly to being the professor because I'm pretty much an expert on all of them except pickleball. So moving on. So you remember a couple weeks ago, when I was asked by the Department of Government Efficiency, AKA DOGE, to list the top 5 things I did last week, well, I just got my reply. I haven't opened it yet, so why don't we just do that together? You know, see, real letter. Evidently, Doge doesn't need a stamp. They're above that. So here we go. It's like Karnak the Magnificent. Dear Mr. Bass, we at the esteemed Department of Government Efficiency have received your weekly activity report. While your efforts are certainly creative, we must address a concerning lack of productivity and efficiency. Firstly, we must point out the inefficiency of heckling innocent pickleball players. Your time could have been better spent inventing smaller paddles or designing aerodynamic wiffle balls. Heckling provides minimum ROI, that's return on investment for you people that are in business, and does not contribute to the national pickleball infrastructure. Is there such a thing? Efficiency rating -3. Ouch. Second, in regards to your choice and your God-given American right to embrace the holiday hosiery, we feel that it lacks practicality. Real men may wear tights, as you say, but efficient men skip the wardrobe dilemma entirely and go straight for pajama pants, like going to Walmart. Moreover, we suggest prioritizing, these are hard words, you folks, multitasking, perhaps smuggling those eggs you mentioned in your tights next time for maximum synergy. Efficiency rating 1. I'm going up. As for your personal taste in controlled spirits, as for your personal taste testing of controlled spirits in the liquor store, we were not in complete agreement at first. We feel that it's a bold interpretation of modern efficiency for which we applaud you. However, the legal repercussions outweigh the potential benefits. A licensed tasting event with scheduled attendees would have achieved the same goal without requiring bail money. Efficiency, that's hard to say, Jamie. Doge rating 0. Let's do that. Now, we're all in agreement concerning your interview with Vladimir Putin. Attempting diplomacy via vodka shots in your shack is a unique approach, though it appears neither official nor coherent. Efficiency would have been improved by extending the invite to diplomats, experts, or even a translator to figure out what dummy discussions took place. Efficiency rating 2. In conclusion, your activities reflect an abysmal efficiency rating. We recommend channeling your energy into less chaotic and more productive pursuits. You will receive a follow-up letter shortly outlining your decision regarding your continued career. Sincerely, Elon Musk. Elon, I'm not looking forward to getting that letter. Sit tight and listen. When you watch the commercial for Sparkling Creations, look for me, I'm riding a bull in it. Sit tight, Lew Hunnicutt's coming back.
If you're planning a party, wedding, birthday party, baby shower, or corporate event, Sparkling Creations can make it memorable for you. With tents, tables, bouncy houses, and more. We can even provide a fire pit for outdoor events. If you want to be adventurous, we have a mechanical bull. You name the event, and Sparkling Creations has you covered. Located at 976 North Winstead Avenue, Sparkling Creations, where we make every event sparkle.
We're back, and as promised, all the way from Nash Community College via Texas?
Via Texas.
Dr. Lew Hunnicutt is here. Lew, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I think it's incredible. I love the Rocky Mountain backdrop.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
It's awesome.
So, being from Texas, you were raised on a ranch, is that what I'm hearing?
I was.
Or is it true that the character of J.R. Ewing was based on your life from Dallas?
You know, I've heard that rumor. I can't confirm or deny that, but I have heard that. Except we didn't have any money, so that's probably...
Well, he had a lot.
He had a lot of money.
So how do you think your upbringing on a ranch shaped your outlook on your career?
I think it completely did. I will lead up to a mentor thing I can tell you about, but being raised the way I was, I had a lot of influences around me, not always good, with cowboys and the cowboy life, but I had a grandfather who was really the epitome of the old-time cowboy and was very much a hero to me. And so I think it played a whole lot in building my character and my integrity, and I've maintained that throughout my career. And the only reason I'm here with you today is my paternal grandmother. We were working cattle one day, and I went in for lunch, and I was helping her wash dishes, and she said, "What are you going to do with the rest of your life?" And I said, I'm living the life. I was making $400 a month. I was about to get married. I'd make $600 a month. So I was going to make a lot of money back then. And she said 6 words to me that are why I'm here with you today. And she said, "There's more to you than this." And I said, "What?" She said, "There's more to you than this." And so we talked about it. She literally took me dragging, kicking and screaming to college and said, "You will do something." And fortunately, she lived to see me get my PhD.
Wow.
So that was, and I would not be here had she not stopped me in my tracks and said, "There's more to you than this."
So Lew, you told me in the green room that your father used to say you had more degrees than a thermometer.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
That is exactly correct.
So you have an impressive academic and professional background,
Thank you.
especially in animal science. Is that true?
I'm an ag major. I'm an animal scientist, and I'm strange for a president. Typically, they're education majors, but I've been in academia for 31 years this year.
Wow.
But no, I'm an agriculture, animal science, range, animal nutrition, grasses kind of guy. So
Wow.
that's why I like being outside a lot.
How'd you get to Nash County?
It's an incredible story. So I was at a community college in Texas for 12 years. I was the vice president. We had built the only other campus we were going to build, and so I was kind of coasting and not really, I'm kind of type A and want to be involved in things.
Right.
And a friend of mine sent me a link to a job at the University of Georgia. So I called him, I'm like, "Why would I want to go to the University of Georgia?" And he said, "Well, it's the Ag Experiment campus, and you'd be the fourth in line to the president." I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I want to be the fourth in line to the president." But I'm like, this is an opportunity I couldn't pass up. Did the application, didn't think I'd ever get an interview, and ended up landing the position. Well, friends told me when I first took the job, you will immediately be off your mission in life, and that's to empower students and do all that. And I said, "Look, I'll be fine." I got the University of Georgia. The students there didn't need mentoring, as most university students don't. They're very directed, they're very focused. And so I was off mission really quickly. But I stayed 4 years and loved every minute of it. But I have good friends, and another friend sent me a link to this position at Nash. And so I called her and said, I'm good, I'll retire from here. She goes, "No, there's something about this one you need to look at." She goes, "It's right up your alley. It's kind of in the country." So I'm like, "Well, okay, I'll look at it." So I looked, North Carolina, before my president level that came in when I did in 2019, was very well known for not hiring outside the state. So even other states, in Texas, we'd be like, "Well, let's retire in North Carolina." Oh, they don't hire anybody else, but which is fine. They've just always kind of hired from within. So I went ahead and applied, but I'm like, there is no way that they're going to even look at me. Well, 7 weeks later, I'd already assumed nothing had happened. I got a call to interview. And when I came here to interview, I saw what was here. And so on the way back, I'm like, I'm going to be really mad now if I don't get this position. But I assumed I just wouldn't because, and when they called me, I was literally surprised, I fell off a chair almost saying, absolutely, I'll accept this. And I've never, I'm not going to say I've regretted can't say I never regretted a day, but I figure after 31 years, I'm still at about a B+ of happiness in my career, and that's not a bad place to be.
That's pretty good.
It's a long round story to get here.
Well, we're glad we got you here in this
Well, thank
area.
you.
You've been great in the area, great in the community, and I've enjoyed
you.
getting to know you a little bit.
Absolutely.
So while you were in Georgia,
Yes.
you lived near the Walking Dead set. Is that correct?
They actually filmed on my campus. And the greatest thing about that, so when I got there, the University of Georgia is a big institution, 30,000 students, but I was on the Ag Experiment Station, the first Ag Experiment Station in Georgia, that campus. It's called the Griffin campus. When I got there, I'd never heard of The Walking Dead, ever. Never heard of the show. I don't watch much TV. And someone said, "Well, hey, The Walking Dead films here." I'm like, whatever. But the good news about it, when they film, they pay. And so even though the mothership, Athens campus, took a bunch of it, we got money to improve the campus. I coined the phrase zombie dollars because after I went and watched, you could at that time go on their set. So they would allow me to come in and sit, and it was just interesting to see how they did it. Pretty quickly, though, as the more fame it got, they wouldn't let you on the set anymore because people were spilling secrets and doing everything.
Oh, yeah.
But every time they came, the director, I walked up to him one day and he said, what do you think about the show? I said, I love it. I love this show more than any in the world. And he goes, well, that's wonderful. Have you been a fan long? I'm like, well, I'm really not a fan. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, oh, I get it. When we come here, we pay you. So they filmed on our campus. But Sonoy, Georgia is the town where they built the town, the torn up town and I've never watched the show, so I can't tell you, but I know there's a town.
Same.
Because I went into a store there to look for some chairs, and you drive into this little tiny town in Georgia. They saved this little tiny town in Georgia. And there's this torn up part of the city that's walled off the town. So I walked in this place and I was looking for chairs and I said, hey, what happened in town? And the lady behind the counter said, are you serious? And I said, well, yeah, did it burn? She goes, you don't know what that is? I said, I am so sorry. What am I not supposed to ask? She goes, you don't watch The Walking Dead? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, okay, let me back up. She explained to me, but they literally saved this little town in Georgia it's now the International Walking Dead, kind of like a Hard Rock Cafe kind of thing. And so this little town, kind of like Spring Hope Studios, I think is going to do for Spring Hope, takes this little kind of not dying town, but small town and just puts national
Be interested to see what happens out there.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I talked with you a couple months ago, and you had told me you had at one time hosted a radio program.
I did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I loved it. It was back in Texas, and then we did the same thing in Georgia, where it was called Coffee Time, and it was a 30-minute radio program, and we just interviewed
It was like on Saturday Night Live, Coffee Talk.
Coffee Talk, that's right. It was kind of like that. You know, I got verklempt a lot.
There you go.
It was just the way it was. But no, it was a great show, and I'll tell you, and I know what you go through, I'm sure, with some of your programs. I loved doing it, but there were some people on the show that I had to pull teeth to get it. I'd be like, so, you're interested in chemistry, right? Yes.
Exactly.
And I've never had a problem with talking. So I love that at the University of Georgia, when I got there, we changed it up a little bit and brought in mostly internal people just to let the community get to know them. And it was awesome to learn more about my team there. So I love that. I love doing that. Television's never, I have a face for radio. I completely understand that.
I do too, but somehow I know I got on TV.
So, you know, I wasn't going to say anything, but but no, I absolutely love that component of being active in the community that way too. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I want to talk to you about some of the other stuff you do with some of your side hobbies you do you like to craft furniture.
Absolutely.
You brought some stuff you wanted to tell us about.
Yeah.
If you could.
Sure.
It's very interesting stuff. If you want to kind of pull some of that stuff out and tell us a little bit about it.
So I'm a nerd. I like collecting unique things, like metal yard art, and I'm very eclectic in what I like. And I'm divorced, so I can collect whatever I want. I have to have no permission from anybody.
Yeah, no permission.
But one of the advantages I have from being in Texas is an interesting state for a lot of reasons. There are Triassic areas of ground cover where I'm from, which is 190 million years old. And then there are, the whole central part of Texas is a Cretaceous era, 120 million year old area. Well, the interesting thing about the ranch I was on in central Texas is there are tons of these. This is called a cast, and it's where mud came in and surrounded the snail shell. That's a big snail, by the way. Came in and surrounded it. The shell dissipated, but all the stuff that ran in it made the cast of it. So when you go in this kind of rotten limestoney country, that's the hill country, when a bank sloughs off in a flood or something, you find there's all kinds of stuff like this. You find 120 million year old snail that I have sitting in my house, and I have bunches of them because I love them. I love finding them.
That's really cool.
So, I mean, that's one unique thing that I like.
Very cool.
Something that I really, really like. I've always been interested. My father was a very big arrowhead and Native American artifact collector, not digging graves and all, but finding them in creeks. He was an expert at doing that. So I was taught from an early age, look down, pick up unique things, do all that kind of stuff. Well, so I love mineral specimens, and the reason I do, no matter who else has one that looks like this, no one has one that looks exactly like this. It's completely unique in the world. This is one from a large geode. I don't know how large it would have been, but think about it, 5, 10, 20 times this size crystals. I just think they're cool. And again, it's a great conversation piece, really hard to move. So I had moved from Texas, 1,600 miles to Georgia, and moved up here. Had a few broken. You can't, you got to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. But I love collecting things like that are just unique and conversation starters.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, so that's.
So I do want to ask you, you're also big in photography. So is there anything that Lew Hunnicutt does not do?
Anymore I don't do much but go to work. But so all these hobbies I've had, and I love nature photography, and I specifically love sunsets and sunrises. And I was very fortunate to rehabilitate a property in Texas that had, in my part of Texas, if there were trees, you were at a creek or at a homestead, or there were no trees.
I got
Just
you.
the very high plains over the top.
So what do you? I'm gonna get. Robert's gonna throw up some of your photos.
Oh, cool.
But what's your most breathtaking photo you think you've ever taken?
I think probably some of the ones I sent that you're going to show that have a true sunset. I'm big into trees. I like winter trees with the sun behind them. And in fact, I assumed I was going to make $1 million with my photography, and I put a DVD set together and did all this stuff because friends said, "Oh, they're just so amazing," and it is great. But I didn't make $1 million. But I'm glad I didn't, or I wouldn't have ended up here.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything happens for a reason.
You wouldn't have ended up on this show. Is that what you meant?
That's exactly what I meant. I would not have the privilege of being on the show. But we put the DVD set together with different views of a creek I was rehabilitating, of nature, and then sunsets and sunrises. But I found and made a very good friend in a lady named Sharon Drury in Michigan. I was really looking for music to put behind these slideshows just to make them relaxing, get an adult beverage.
Right.
And on the internet, I typed in nature sounds or nature music, and her website came up. When I listened to her music, and it's on the DVDs that I have, it is the most relaxing. She has music that sounds like rainfall. She has very nature-sounding music. So it melded together and became lifelong friends over it. So, yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change gears a little bit.
Okay.
Like me, you're a dog lover,
I am.
and you have 2 Australian blue heelers.
Blue heelers.
That's not Tar Heelers, right?
It's not, no. No, it's
Please
not.
tell me it's
Tar Heel.
not.
No, it is not. It is not.
Tell me about them.
So I do. So I'm ranch raised. So in ranches and farms. In Texas, there are ranches and there's farms. Here, I know we call everything farm, which is fine. But so I was raised on a ranch where we didn't do a lot of farming. But you're in such large areas. Pastures might be 50,000 acres that you're working in, and so you need help. And we always had working dogs. So blue heelers are cattle dogs. They're working dogs. They don't make good pets if you're not willing to let them work and run and play. So I've had friends that kept them in apartments. Doesn't go very well. Because they're hyper. But they're an incredible Dalmatian. They're part, good Lord, I'm blanking on what they are. They're part Dalmatian, what's the wild dog in Australia? Anyway.
The jackal?
No, I'll
Hyena?
think you in a moment. No. I'll
Coyote?
think no.
Wolf? I don't know.
Hello. Anyway, they got some wild dog in them. They've got Dalmatian in them, and they got Australian Shepherds. So they're very good, very protective dogs. They're in a unique kind of gray, brown, and black coloring that's unique here. And so most people wonder what my dogs are because they've never seen anything like them. But they're good. It's Cooper and Sadie, and Cooper would show you where the silver is if you wanted to rob the house. Sadie, on the other hand, might eat your arm off. So
that's a good balance.
It's a good balance.
So our crack research team out of Macon, North Carolina, discovered that you were into tomahawk throwing.
That's right.
Not axe throwing, but Tommy. This is before all this got trendy.
It very much before.
Tell me a little bit about it, and I think you brought some to show us.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of toys to show you. So this is a tomahawk. It's not an axe and it's not a hatchet. It's a tomahawk, and they're actually hand forged from a friend of mine in Kansas. And so, literally 40 years ago or so, people where I'm from were throwing tomahawks, and it was very competitive. And the way you compete is from the distance you're competing at, maybe 20 feet, maybe 30 feet. It's who can split a playing card on the target the most in the middle, the most center. Well, I will tell you, my ex-wife was very, very, very good. And people would ask me,
your ex-wife was good at throwing tomahawks?
Yes, and people would ask me at every contest, does that not make you nervous? And I'd be like, every darn day it does. But I used to think I was really good, but she used to tell me I just used to think I was really good. But I've thrown them for fun forever. Had I known there was going to be this trend later on, I would have been ahead of my time, and I'd be a millionaire again.
So have you ever competed in any kind of event?
I have, back in Texas, and I haven't competed since I left Texas. But and I was never the best at throwing, but I just liked doing it. So I split a card every once in a while. Oh. But the great thing here is I can throw well enough that I can impress anyone that comes out to one of my cookouts.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you this because we're kind of getting almost out of time.
Okay.
But you think we could do a demonstration later that we could show?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
So I do want to also ask you, if you were going to give a piece of advice to any of the Nash Community College students, what would it be?
Oh, I would say concentrate on persistence. Even when the going's tough, stick with it, because the students we get, I'm so fortunate. I work at a community college where there's open admissions, and if you want to go to school and change your life, you can do that. Mm-hmm. Too many times when any of us started school or went to school, life happens, and there's so many reasons not to finish. And like I told you, I had the mentor, the paternal grandmother that mentored me. We are lacking that in our society today, is that mentor at home that's saying, you can do this, you can do this. In fact, quite the opposite in some aspects. There are people are saying, you can't do, why are you trying that? Why are you trying that? We tell students all the time, it's so big with us, let us help you persist. If you can just stick with it, no one can take what you're doing away from you, and it's not going to do anything but raise your level of living, or maybe you start making a family wage, you can support your family, whatever it might be. But persist, I think, would be the one word I would use.
Very good. So we're out of time. We're going to go outside, we're going to do our little demo here in just a minute.
Okay.
Dr. Lew Hunnicutt, ladies and gentlemen, Nash Community College. Thank you for joining us, Lew.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's been incredible.
We'll be right back. Hey, I want to thank my special guest, Dr. Lew Hunnicutt from Nash Community College, for joining me tonight. Great conversation. So every Thursday night at 10 and Saturday nights at 10, catch this show, Up Late with Sam Bass, right here on WHIG. See you soon. So let's step outside. I want you to show me how to throw the tomahawk.
I will do that. I'll show you how to safely throw.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.